Folks, you're looking at Trump Tower there. I'm coming into the shot. We're going to stake out Trump Tower one more day here. We're on high alert. We're trying to see who comes in and out of Trump Tower. I'm actually going rogue this morning. I've got the denim on. I'll let you know. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, don't. I'm not George.
They both look the same like that.
Oh.
There we go.
Good morning from the office. Let me put my glasses on. Might be able to see over there, see what you got up there. Yeah, I can see the teleprompter now. 706-889-9700, 706-889-9700, or chief at fetchernews.com. That would be chief at fetchernews.com this morning. The smoke here in North Georgia, yes, we still have smoke. A little bit. You think it's cleared a little? I don't know. I mean, I can't breathe. The air quality is getting worse to me, but hopefully they're going to have this, the Rough Ridge fire here in North Georgia. Now there's several throughout the Carolinas and other areas, but the North Georgia here, Rough Ridge fire, hopefully November 30th, and we'll look at that a little closer. We've got a lot to go over today. We are here at Trump Tower again. We're staking it out. We're staking out Trump Tower one more day to see who comes in and out. The media, are you not enjoying? I mean, come on, there's some things you have to enjoy. Are you enjoying the media trying to figure out what's happening in that building behind me? I mean, I'm serious. I mean, they are freaking out because Donald Trump went and got a steak without them. I'm serious. The press pool, they just don't get it, folks. They just don't get it. Folks, they have been looking for every single day, and this is why your MSNBC and CBS and CNN, the Clinton News Network, this is why they just don't get it. This was a Duck Dynasty election. A Duck Dynasty election. Now, I want to just briefly say this because I got to say, my brother Jerry, which you have heard on the show all too many times maybe. Jerry and I were talking the other day, and Jerry said, look, it was a Duck Dynasty election. I said, you're right. I mean, we were talking about rural America. Folks, one time, there was a wild game dinner in New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey. Now, my brother-in-law loves to hunt, and my brother-in-law lives up in right on the New Jersey-Pennsylvania border there, and he loves to hunt. And there was a wild game dinner in New Jersey. I keep stressing that because it's New Jersey. It's not Louisiana. It's not Alabama, because everybody thought this election would, why, sure, Trump would just steamroll through the South with all the rednecks. And look at the red zones, folks. Look at the red zones. The red zones are in Michigan. The red zones are in Wisconsin. The red zones are in Pennsylvania. The red zones are in New York, folks. Okay? So anyhow, he went to a wild game dinner that was sold out. This is about 2 years ago, that Phil Robertson, the patriarch of the Duck Dynasty clan, the father, Phil Robertson, I think that's his name, was the speaker. I'm just telling you. So, I mean, it's just, they can't figure this out. It's got them messed up. And it is, I'm enjoying watching them try to figure out what is going on in that building behind us. I am going to say that Donald Trump is pitching the perfect baseball game. The perfect game. I mean, he is pitching. I mean, they're talking about Rudy Giuliani going out and talking too much. Now, this is a guy that was on the plane, okay? This is a guy that's on the plane with Donald every day. at 5 and 6 stops a day. He's on the plane with him. So you don't think that Mr. Trump, President Trump, doesn't say, Rudy, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to really, you want to mess with them a little bit, Rudy? These are New Yorkers. Rudy, let's have some fun. You want to have some fun? I'm serious. You might think, no, because it's much more national security and the Department of State Department and all these things they're so serious that there's no way they could be doing anything like this that is not right on their course, the media's course, words I'm trying to look for this morning. But anyhow, Rudy Giuliani going out there and talking like Trump doesn't know he's going out there and talking and what he says, and that, Trump is not in tune of what Rudy's out saying. Come on. I think Donald Trump is pitching the perfect baseball game. The media has no idea what he's going to do. Nikki Haley is showing up at Trump Tower. Kelly Ayotte is showing up at Trump Tower. Ted Cruz is showing up at Trump Tower. Henry Kissinger. I mean, they're listening. A lot of these people are listening. They're just listening to, and my opinion, a lot of these people have been invited to Trump Tower just so the media could say they were there, and you really don't know what Donald Trump's about to do. So we'll get into the transition team here in just a little bit and what's going on. You can't be a lobbyist if you want to be on the team. Steve Bannon must be an okay guy because it has caused the wackos from sea to shining sea to just go crazy. The problem is they were almost making it to where you could not even let people know you were white. It would be that would be a crime if you told somebody you were white. They almost had that completely stamped out. And here comes Trump, and it's actually okay to be white today, along with Asian, black, the list goes on, Latino. Now, he's pitching the perfect game, but there's a couple things here. First of all, I want to say something. Here at FetcherNews.com, I want to talk about, I'm really honored. I'm getting an opportunity to do something tonight. I'm going to get an opportunity to speak to the Georgia Mountain Chapter Military Officers Association of America, the Georgia Mountain Chapter. They have about 40 or 50 in attendance in North Georgia at their meetings, and I'm going to be able to speak to them for about 20 minutes tonight. Again, the Military Officers Association of America, the Georgia Mountain Chapter. When I got the invitation to attend this meeting tonight, the election had not taken place. And I accepted the invitation I always would immediately accept an invitation at any time to go meet veterans and military officers in this country at any time. But when I accepted this great opportunity, the election had not taken place, and I seen the November 17th date. And it made me a little nervous because I was thinking there was two ways I would have to approach tonight. Either Hillary was the president-elect, Hillary Clinton, or Donald Trump was president-elect. So to end that, I really look forward tonight to going and talking to Military Officers Association, knowing that President-elect Donald Trump won. So I'm all excited about this evening because I look forward to it, so it's much easier for me. I was trying to think, Cole, what am I going to say if Hillary Clinton's president? What am I going to say?
You'd scramble up words.
Huh?
You'd have to scramble up words.
I mean, what would a Hillary Clinton look like? Wait for cues, Cole. Don't screw this up. What would Hillary Clinton look like a week after the election? What would it look like in America a week after the election? Okay, well, first, there's Hillary, okay? There's Hillary Clinton, at the last debate. She's wearing all white there. She is the good person. She's wearing, look at this. We don't have a real close-up shot, but stay on this shot here for a minute. Don't go anywhere. Hillary has the hair done. We've seen her. Oh my God, the hair. I mean, you got to give it to her. They were tightening up the face. Now, look, I know I don't want to get in trouble with women out there, but let's just shoot straight this morning. You know, they were tightening up all the, you know, no close-up shots. Had her pearly whites on. You know, she had her Fixodent. Everything was in place there. They actually, you know, you remember the, you know, the commercial where you drop the pearls that have been in cranberries for a week. They got the pearls out of the cranberries for a week, and or the blueberry pie. And we now have these blueberry stained pearls, and they dropped it into the Polydent or whatever it is. Okay, and you know, and look at how clean these pearls are. Well, she had the teeth. You can see the teeth don't go anywhere. White jacket. I mean, bam. Now, don't click until I say so. He's over there. He's a quick clicker. Anyhow, so she's all. This is the debate, Hillary Clinton. Now, last night she comes out for the first time after a week, and she speaks at the Children's Defense Fund, where she was already scheduled well in advance. As she goes out, and this is Hillary last night. Oh my God, Hillary looks like she's been drunk for a week. Seriously. I mean, this is the, you know, you remember Trading Places, the movie Trading Places? Did you ever see that with Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
He's Trading Places. And you remember the Dukes, and they had the Dukes bet the dollar. And you remember when the guy goes to work one day, and he's got the chauffeur, and he's got the limousine, and he's got everything in the world, a girlfriend, Penelope or whatever. And that night when he gets there, he can't get through the front door, okay? He lost the car, everything is gone. He's been kicked out. This is what Hillary looks like. She lost her hairstylist, okay? What happened to the hair? She looks like she's been drunk for a week, no makeup on. You know, it looks like earlier that day they said, Hillary, get off the floor. I know your eyes are all puffed up. They're all swelled up. You have to go. We have to try to. I mean, I think they had her drinking coffee all afternoon trying to sober her up, you know. You remember the days where you were out drunk all night long and you had to go to work in an hour and a half and you had to start, you know, trying to sober up because you were drunk all night? Wow. Anyhow, that's Hillary. Hillary, sources say, now this is Ed Klein, this woman was so drunk the night of the election. She's been on a drunk for a week. All right, take her off there. Enough Hillary. Well, you know, sorry, Hillary. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun because of woman. I mean, this is what happens. I mean, you know, the woman's whole life collapsed. She's already been convicted, folks. She's been drunk for a week. Anyhow, okay, let's get on to some serious things this morning. Two things I want to talk about today. And let's I put this on Facebook. Is the transition team in disarray? Send me, if you think the transition team's in disarray or Donald Trump is pitching the perfect game, or you're enjoying watching the media try to score this and figure this out because it's got them messed up. Send me a message, 706-889-9700 or chief@fetchernews.com. Is the DNC about to become, has it already become that, but is it about to become a chapter, an American chapter of the Muslim Brotherhood? Huh? Is it? Who is Keith Ellison? Now, the media is not telling you some things. They're camped out at Trump Tower. They're trying to figure out why Kelly Ayotte's there, why Nikki Haley's there. We'll talk about that. But the media is real cautious on talking about some other things that's going on at the DNC that we want to talk about just briefly here. Also, what's going on with some of these cabinet positions and how will they affect Georgia? So let's start with Georgia, how they will affect Georgia. Do you realize that now this I get a text message. This particular person always says,
You gotta read it first.
yeah, I gotta check something out. I mean, I gotta are we running okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, I just double checking because I just got a text message that I don't understand, and I just wanted to make sure that we're running okay. Yeah, we're running okay. All right. See, I get a text. There's a couple particular people that know that I get a text message, and they know it's like saying squirrel, and they know my attention deficit disorder, and they make fun of it. They really do. They know if I get a text, I'm going to look over, and they know that. They know that. Okay, folks, we just let's get back to this. The reason I'm going with the jean jacket today, going rogue a little bit here. Again, we're staked out at Trump Tower here. Here's somebody I think could be going in and out of Trump Tower. Let's talk about the state of Georgia for a minute. If you are in anywhere in the United States, you need to stay with this story, okay? I know we got viewers in Florida and in several other states now. We appreciate it very much. Stay with this story because this is pretty big, and this is one of those that's under the radar that could be developing. Before I go into this story, you do know I tend to go out on a limb from time to time, and I get out on those branches and I lead the league in, collapsing branches on a limb. Keep an eye for this guy going in and out of Trump Tower. Now, what about the people that are not going in? Put up the gentleman there in the jean jacket. You know that guy? Do you guys in Georgia know him? That's Senator David Perdue. Now, David Perdue, one as a senator, one as an outsider. Remember, the transition team doesn't want any lobbyists in there, and David Perdue, Senator David Perdue here in Georgia, he cleaned up, I'm going to throw a number out, he cleared the way. He cleared the way in Georgia with about 7 candidates, okay? There was Karen Handel, and there was Paul Brown, and the list goes on and on. There was about 7 candidates for senator here. Jack Kingston, a very well-known 1st District of Georgia House of Representatives, Jack Kingston. He cleared a whole debate stage, I'll never forget, of candidates in Georgia as an outsider. Never held an elective office. David Perdue never held, former CEO of Dollar General, international business on his resume. Now stay with me. This guy never held an elected office, okay? Never held one. Cleaned a whole, Congressman Paul Brown, establishment. Phil Gingrey down in congressman, I think it was 3 or 4 congressmen, sitting congressmen. He went through one right after another in the primary in Georgia. Then he turns around and he runs against a Democrat, very well-known name, Nunn, Sam Nunn's daughter, Michelle Nunn. And David Perdue becomes the total outsider. He ran his campaign as the outsider in Georgia. Wonder if Donald Trump watched that. Wonder if Donald Trump seen this guy, a businessman, and what the climate was in Georgia, and how he walked through several establishment candidates on the stage, or Republican or whatever you want to say. Now, David Perdue has a lot of business experience. David Perdue has international. He has lived internationally. Now, if you look at Perdue's resume, he has lived, I think he lived in China. He has lived internationally for several years. He understands international business. Think about it, folks. Now, this is where I'm going out on a limb. Now, U.S. Senator David Perdue understands. Now, here's why this is important. You hear Kelly Ayotte going into Trump Tower, okay? You hear of Nikki Haley going into Trump Tower. But what I did not hear on MSNBC this morning, because I watched from 6 to 7, what I didn't even hear on Fox, and what I didn't hear anywhere really is David Perdue going in and out of Trump Tower. But see, you see the guy in the jean jacket, if you can't make it out, the guy in the jean jacket, that red hat says, "Make America Great Again." You see, with the exception of Jeff Sessions over in Alabama, Georgia Senator David Perdue put the "Make America Great" hat on very early in the game. And Georgia Senator David Perdue has been a very strong supporter of Donald Trump all through the primary. Just saying. Ran as the outsider. Now, what was one of Donald Trump's number one things in the campaign that you and many in this country wanted to make sure China was playing fair? Trump says, I believe in fair trade, free trade, but it has to be fair trade and it has to be America first. I'm going to tell you something. Keeping China in check, understanding international commerce, and putting somebody from the outside business world in to the mix. Myself, there's not a better person that can be the Secretary of Commerce for the United States of America than Georgia Senator David Perdue. Watch that cabinet seat. Watch David Perdue become the Commerce Secretary in that cabinet, and watch David Perdue help Donald Trump with these trade deals, okay? All right? Now, the concern I have, the flip side is the concern I have, is David Perdue did support TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So we have to be careful with that. We have to be very careful with that. But I think it's going to be Trump's way. And if Perdue supported, for all of you people that might get upset and start going on the internet and say, well, David Perdue supported the Trans-Pacific Partnership, you know what? If he walks in the Trump Tower and Donald Trump says we do not support that any longer, I've got a feeling David Perdue won't support it any longer. I'm not real nervous about that. But this guy right here, a senator from the state of Georgia, may be in Donald Trump's cabinet. And that's why I think Donald Trump is pitching, okay, the perfect game. And, you know, and he's got a guy calling the pitches over there, helping call the pitches, whether you believe it or not, Jared Kushner. You know, Jared Kushner, they're just now acting like they understand who he is. Jared Kushner is his son-in-law, day one, okay, day one. From the time he came down the escalator, top advisor. He's the quiet guy, okay? When the pitcher looks over to the dugout, and then he looks over to the catcher, or the catcher looks over to the dugout, then looks over to the pitcher, he's looking at Jared Kushner over there, the quiet guy that you never know who's sending in the signal, all right? That being said, David Perdue, I am predicting you're going to be shocked at some of the names that are going to get on these cabinet positions, and Donald Trump is throwing a head fake at you if the media still doesn't get it. Now, what happens? So let me go a little further on the limb before I go to break, and it might crack and I fall on the ground. I did not say this. I said this in the Wayback Machine of this show. I said this. Keep Senator Perdue's picture up there. I did not say this, and I didn't get his picture up. Can you get me a picture of Johnny Isakson? Yeah. Give me a picture of Johnny Isakson. Try to put it to the right of me, over there where the clock is, okay? Right. See if you can do that while I'm talking. Now, I said this in the Wayback Machine, okay, of what I thought would happen concerning Senator Johnny Isakson. All right? Now, every state gets 2 U.S. senators. Now, here's some history stuff to look up to say, what if this happens? All right? Every state gets 2 U.S. senators. We have Johnny Isakson, just reelected, and we have David Perdue. Now, we wish Johnny Isakson well, and this has nothing to do with his illness, but he has Parkinson's, okay? Johnny was diagnosed. He announced that last year, early on before the campaign even started, that he'd been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Johnny's a nice man. I don't think he's a conservative. That's my opinion. I don't think he's very much of a conservative, but a nice man, very popular politician in the state of Georgia. Democrats like him, Republicans like him. Maybe that's why I don't think he's a conservative. But that being said, I do not feel he will serve his term, okay? I will not feel, this is Senator Johnny Isakson, okay, state of Georgia. I do not feel Senator Isakson will serve his term. Now, he was just reelected to serve another 6 years. I'm thinking that in January, once Johnny Isakson's sworn in, you can't argue with the doctor, okay? And the doctor may say, you know what, the senator cannot physically maintain the schedule necessary, and I'm concerned with his health. This could happen, okay? This is not being disrespectful to the senator, but this could happen. I feel it happening, okay? All right? I feel the Republicans did not want to try to field a new candidate and have any kind of discourse when they knew it was going to be an easy shoe-in for Isakson to get reelected, that the Democrats really didn't have a candidate in the state of Georgia that could run against Isakson, and we've seen that. Barksdale couldn't stand a chance, all right? There's a possibility that the 2 senators you see on that screen, it's a possibility, may be moving. One may be retiring, maybe, we have no indication, just a gut feeling. And the other one that wore the Make America Great Again hat and supported Donald Trump may be going to his cabinet, maybe. And what does that leave us with? That leaves us with Governor Nathan Deal having the power to appoint both U.S. senators. Yeah, that's why we're pausing. Absorb that, the possibility. Now, folks, if you want to see a constitutional amendment on the ballot in the state of Georgia, okay, I do respect the powers of the governor in a state, in a situation that is unseen, or you know, you can't, or an unseen situation that's unbeknownst to anybody, being able to make a temporary appointment to fill a position. I understand there could be emergency situations at any time. But if you'll look at the constitutional amendments that were put on the ballot in the state of Georgia, I'm not making light of any of them. Why not a constitutional ballot really serious that takes some of this power away from this governor? Because you could possibly have 2 unelected senators representing the state of Georgia. Maybe we should have to, mandatory, have a special election within 90 days. I don't know. We'll see. That's the chance. That's the limb I went out on. That's the chance I'm taking. If I'm out on the branch and it cracked and I fall, if none of this takes place, you can't say you didn't enjoy it. But that's the possibility, Georgia. David Perdue, I'm predicting and thinking that could be your secretary. Now, what happens if they get appointed? Who might get their positions? And then what might happen? We might go further out on that limb when we get back after this break. By the way, does anybody know, because everybody's focusing on everything out there, do you know who this Keith Ellison is? Do you know who Keith Ellison is? Okay? And also, We have a governor's race in North Carolina that is undecided. It's between 5,000 votes or something like that, but we have the same person filled out several ballots in North Carolina. Interesting. So we have something that the media is not watching in North Carolina. I don't think anybody's watching, but we have an undecided governor's race there in North Carolina. We want to touch on that a little bit. Hey, how far could I go on that limb? What happens if Johnny and David move on to other things in life and there's 2 new senators in the state of Georgia? What happens then? And who would take their places? Interesting. I'll be back after these brief messages. BKP, good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. We're staked out at Trump Tower this morning. Take us out of here, Cole.